Okay, what's going on? LBHT crew B, what is going on?
Your boy going wild is what's going on.
Wild boy John Morant is just running wild on Memphis, boy. I mean, and the NBA. You get the John Wick memes going out there. You got Uncle Lou Young having to sit him down and give him a talk on his spoof. Check out Lou Young's work, man. That man's hilarious. But yeah, man, we'll probably start the show with that. We have a lot to talk about today. Lots of NBA for our NFL Ravens folks. We're going to talk about some Ravens. We're going to talk about expectations for Lamar Jackson this year, obviously with the new deal and newly acquired talent. So we'll discuss that. We didn't do a live stream for the schedule, but we discussed it on Coach's show. We can go a little bit more into that today and what we expect from the team. Same thing with Bryce Young for the Panthers fans out there. Number 1 overall pick. So, we'll break down what we feel about him and the team. And we kind of discussed that already, right? We feel like he's already going to be one of the better quarterbacks in the NFC. And there's high expectations for the Panthers, at least from our end this year. So we're going to get into that a whole lot. NBA playoffs. Lakers lost a close one last night. What is our outlook on that series for the remainder of the playoffs? Also, the Celtics and the Heat are playing tonight. It's tonight, right?
Yes, 8:30.
Yeah. So a whole lot to discuss. Let's give a couple of shots here. Oh, by the way, we are streaming live on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, and Twitch. And Twitch. So make sure you hit the like, all those places. And if you're new, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We got our guy, Coach. Coach is first. Oh, Bazel. He beat you. He beat you.
So did Nitro.
So did Nitro. Salute to Nitro. Appreciate you guys coming through. Andrew's in here. Says, I apologize to everyone in LBHT Crew Dynasty League. Okay. What did you do? Or is that I apologize for what I'm about to do to you guys? Is that what it is? Is he talking trash? Zico Kage, what's going on? Says Jose and Brodny, what's good, Unc? And everyone who ever reads this. Hey, there you go.
How old are you?
I don't know.
Just if you don't want to give your specific age, just in general, because
that is a term of respect.
I know, okay? I understand, but it's a term of respect for your elders.
We're a little older. Salute to JP. JP says, fellas, what's good? What's good with you, JP? Marcus Payne, salute to you. Zaul Martinez, hola. What's going on, my friend? Sharon's in the house. Says, good evening to my favorite guys. Yes. What's going on with you? Yes. Oh, yeah. I got Zico Kage, got Brandon. Be the change you wish to see. What up, though? What's good with you? Be the change you wish to see. Main L says, what's up, fellas? Our guy Hendo says, you are his elder, B.
But yeah, he said 25, and that hurts the soul.
Yeah. Where's uncles? Where's unks? Okay. Living big with Big Reg. What's good? Salute to you. Yes. We got just Al in the house. Says, hello, LBHT, the best show in town. I appreciate that. I hope everyone is great. The NBA draft lottery is rigged. It is not. No. Of all the teams they're rigging for, you think they're rigging for the Spurs?
San Antonio. Nah.
But it kind of feels that way. I feel what you're saying. Just it kind of feels that way. What's going on, Raven Ron?
What's
incredibly
up,
fortunate. Yes. Hey, listen, man. That's a win for the NBA, right? That's a win because one, you got what we believe to be a star player in Victor Wembanyama going to a good organization. So you expect him to be on that Tim Duncan trajectory, but also it's a lesson out there: don't tank, because that player that you want might go to the Spurs. Right?
Well, or is a lesson to tank, as Hendo say they rigged it before with Duncan. It was not rigged with Duncan either, but the Spurs tanked that season. They tanked hard to get Tim Duncan that year.
Everybody wanted Tim Duncan to go to the Celtics.
Yeah.
That was the team, right? It was supposed to be the Celtics. He was supposed to
yes, it was. What's his name? Oh man, the coach from Kentucky and Louisville, Pitino. he famously said in his press conference, said, Tim Duncan's not walking through that door. You know,
yeah.
with the subtext being, I thought he was, but and I'm out. Much like Bobby Petrino, when he sat in Atlanta, he was like, I took this job to coach Mike Vick, not Joey Harrington. So
Right.
I'm gonna head out.
For that reason, I'm out. What's going on, Agent E? Thanks for coming through. And Rob, salute to you. Yes. And Nitro with his hot takes. People think we have hot takes. Nitro got the hot takes. Spurs aren't taking Wembanyama. Okay.
Nitro, come on, bro.
Listen, I'll give you all the props in the world if that turns out to be true, but that ain't true.
That dude did not jump out of his seat screaming "Let's go" because anybody else has a shot in hell of going number one. They were in France interviewing him about how he's going to play. Yeah, about how he's going to play in San Antonio. Scoot, that he wasn't even projected to go second in there. It was Brandon. I don't think it's Williams.
Brandon not going to get drafted number one.
The 6'9" forward from Alabama. But yeah, no. Victor is going number one. Listen, unless he dies before that draft, he is the number one pick.
Or unless he he goes Ja Wick.
Listen, if he goes Ja Wick, he is the number one pick. All right.
Wow. There you go.
They are not taking anybody but Victor.
So listen, obviously we have a lot to talk about. A whole lot to talk about. So we're gonna get into it. But first, we like to start every show with a Black History fact, and B has a Black History fact for you. And I need to pin that link in the chat box. Give me a second, guys. Yes, because you guys want to hit up our super chat. This is how we do super chat. You hit the Cash app, which is right there in the corner, $ LBHTShow, or this link that I'm about to put in the chat box right now. Go ahead, B.
Yeah, so gonna keep it pretty quick, but I wanted to talk about a double standard in this country that's been going on for a long time, and obviously it's going to be connected with the Ja Morant story. But the Black Panther Party was started in Oakland in 1963, primarily initially to kind of patrol the neighborhoods and keep an eye on police, right? Cop watching, as they called it. Obviously, they expanded and did a lot of great things for the community after that. But that's the way it started. And in 1967, the Black Panthers they would typically, congregate with loaded weapons and watch police as they do their job, just to make sure that there wasn't any brutality going on. And in 1967, they kind of marched on the State House, and they said that it was time for African Americans to arm themselves, which rather quickly led to the passing of the Mulford Act, which made it illegal to carry loaded weapons in public. Right? The government was very afraid of Black people, as the Panthers said, arming themselves and just being out in public with loaded weapons, watching the police, all these kind of things. And it was kind of a highlight for the double standard that we have in this country, that it's okay for white people to have as many guns as they want. White people go to the grocery store with their gun just because, just drape it over your back and head out, right? But when it was Black people, it was a major problem and needed legislative action. And like I said, that's just going to lead into our first topic tonight, talking about Ja Morant and his mishaps, as he was on IG Live again, showing off his or maybe somebody else's gun. Last time he said it was somebody else's. I don't know if he's claimed it this time, but he was on there showing off a gun, and it's got the NBA world turned upside down a little bit. And Adrian Wojnarowski saying that he's going to be facing a lengthy suspension to start the season. He's already suspended from all Grizzly team activities in the offseason. So it's looking like it's going down a troublesome road with Ja.
Yeah. So me and B have had some spirited debates about this. We pretty much agree, right? There's a couple of things we're kind of disagreeing on, but nothing major. But listen, like B said, there's a double standard in this country, and just out the gate, I don't care about him flashing guns. I don't. This country has an obsession with guns. Despite the many mass shootings we have, there are no laws being changed, and we could say, hey, you know, we want change, whatever, but we keep voting for the people that don't change, that take money from gun lobbyists and whatnot, right?
Yeah, because I'll tell you right now, thoughts and prayers getting their ass kicked.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. So, you know, when actual shootings happen, there's not enough action. We don't demand enough action on that end. But when you see a black athlete flash a gun, although recklessly, you know, we clutch our pearls and say, oh, he has to be brought down. We got to take that man down. He's the problem, right? It's him flashing the gun, listening to rap music. Nothing good can come from that. I don't care about that narrative at all. What I do care about is Ja Morant. This is the second time he's gotten in trouble. He got in trouble for it the first time. He admitted fault. Said, hey, it's not a good look. I apologize. Won't do it again. Not being committed to the team having team meetings, say, hey, stay in the hotel room. Let's stay in the hotel room. We're on the road, so we're not, you know, taking our eye off the game. We're focusing on basketball, and him ditching that, you know, that agreement to just go out and party. His team playing better without him in the lineup. All this stuff, you know, those are things that I'm focusing on more. Those are more detrimental in my opinion. And while I don't agree with, you know, what they're saying he might get, like a half a season suspension from the league, I think that's a little harsh. At the same time, I don't feel bad for him, because how many times did people got to tell you to cut it out?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he said, yeah, no, I realized that my actions were detrimental to the team. I apologize, blah, blah, blah. I won't do it again. And then he's like, y'all meant out of the season too? Like, because as soon as they were out the playoffs, my man said, where's my gun? I don't have, 41 games does seem harsh if it ends up being that. But that's just a rumor. You know, like I said, Wojnarowski said a lengthy suspension, because that could mean, you know, any number of things. But, you know, like I said, I don't feel bad for him. You know, this is a thing that, yeah, you didn't do anything illegal, but there's a lot of things that professional athletes are just not allowed to do because of their profession and because of the amount of money that they make and the fact that they represent these teams, they're public figures and everything like that. So it was made very clear to you last season that this is one of the things that you cannot do. And he said, I'm gonna do it. Right. So yeah, you know, if you want to, if that's the way you want to act, you kind of get what you get at that point. And you know, we talked about it, and both of us think that it has more to do with the other alleged incidents, you know, like him pistol whipping a 17-year-old and, you know, things like that didn't actually bring charges. But if it was just, hey, I pulled out a gun on Instagram, it wouldn't be this visceral of reaction from the team and from the league. But I think that the Memphis Grizzlies in particular think that the kid's off the rails, you know, and just out of control, you know, when off the court. I mean, he's kind of reckless on the court too, but that's a whole different thing. So I think that they're trying to send a message. And, you know, honestly, you would want that to come from his family, his father, or, you know, his friends. But his father's at NBA games starting problems too. So, you know, if you're Memphis, are you going to trust that that'll get taken care of, you know, within the family? I wouldn't. Right. You just signed this guy to a long extension, and they're trying to send a message. They're trying to hammer it home right now and see if they can kind of snap him out of it and you know, bring him back into the fold. And sometimes that takes, you know, kind of harsh actions.
Now, I want to give a shout out to the chat. Hey, shout out to Young Brew. Thanks for coming through, man. Appreciate you. He says, I want to address these points. He says, bring on football. Basketball is full of young men with no real OGs in the locker room. They don't care about people's opinions on how to conduct themselves. Jake P is saying the same thing. He says, this is what happens when there's no OGs around a superstar like Ja. Ja needs a full cleanse from his circle of friends. However, the Grizzlies need to be held accountable for their leadership. But they're saying something slightly different, right? But I want to address Young Brew's point. The NFL, I mean, I can give you plenty of examples, but one more recent one was Henry Ruggs, who just got sentenced, right? What did he get? Manslaughter involuntary
I
manslaughter.
believe so. Did he actually get sentenced already? I thought they were still waiting on that. But
Or
they're
he
saying,
pled guilty. He pled guilty.
yeah, he pled guilty. He's looking at 3 to 10 years.
Where's the what OG pulled him from the locker room and said, "Don't drink and drive." Right. Like, I mean, young players get in trouble. It doesn't matter who's around them. Right. It doesn't matter. If you're gonna listen, you're gonna listen. If you're not gonna listen, you're not gonna listen. It doesn't matter who's there with you. Like every locker room in the NBA has an older player, right?
Yeah, I mean the Grizzlies are a little bit unique in that they have Steven Adams, but he's not even really an old guy. They are a really young team, but there are a lot of players around the league who I'm sure wouldn't have any problem reaching out to Ja. Right? You have a whole list of the top players in the league. You know, LeBron, Steph, Giannis, these guys who have gone through essentially their entire careers with no incidents. You know, and I think I'm sure that those guys would be, you know, more than willing to reach out to Ja if anybody thought that Ja cared what they had to say, right?
Yeah.
You know, he seems like he's just a guy who is just going to do his own thing, and you know he knows better than you, and he don't care what you got to say.
Yeah, and sometimes players go through that, and sometimes they grow out of it, sometimes they don't. I do put a lot. It's like he doesn't. What does he need an OG in his locker room for? He's got his father there. That's my whole thing, right? I give fathers a lot of credit for raising their sons. To that point where they're in the NBA and their fathers were there guiding them. I'm a big advocate of that. For as much as I think LeVar Ball is a clown. I told you I give him a lot of props for getting 3 sons to the NBA. Now you'll dispute that third son wasn't quite NBA.
But he is not in the NBA. But no, but I hear what you're saying.
But yeah. But I'm saying, like, I gave Josh's father a lot of credit for that too, and he takes a lot of credit, as he should. But in times like this, man, you gotta look in the mirror and say, what am I doing as a father where my son is acting out like this, and I can't get to him, right? I can't get through to him. And I don't want to hear the argument of he's a grown man. He's not a grown man. He's an adult. He's not a grown man, right? Like there's still some maturing that needs to happen, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. The father need to be there to step in and say, listen, those friends, they're gone. You're cutting them off. If you got any guns, give them to me. You're not owning any guns. Okay, we got to reel this back in because you're about to lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
It ain't all about money, but that's just not the way you need to be acting. Right. Let's read a couple more comments here. What's up, Danity? She says, I'm late, but go Spurs, go. Oh, yes, Danity is a Spurs fan. Spurs are back. Ja can come learn some discipline with Pop as his coach. Can you imagine if they got Ja and Wembanyama?
I mean, I can imagine, but it'll last for about 1.5 years before Ja's out the league at this point, right?
Well, if it comes with another ring. Hey, what's going on, Jay? He says, young people look up to those guys. He doesn't get it. I would give him a full season. If I were Memphis, would trade him for draft picks. He's nothing but trouble. Wow, young people look up to those guys, but that's the whole thing. You shouldn't be looking up to athletes and entertainers. We know this by now. Okay.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley told us back when we were kids that he wasn't a role model. Okay. And that's a fact. If your kid is looking up to Ja and he grows up to be Ja, I mean, on the street, not on the court, then that's your fault as a parent.
Right.
That's not Ja's fault.
Because one of those is way more likely. Yeah, but kids are absolutely they're gonna naturally look up to athletes and entertainers. But like you said, and that's fine in and of itself. Okay, you can be a fan of somebody, you can kind of want to follow in their footsteps or whatever. But when it's like you said, when it's somebody like a Charles Barkley who's spitting on children and throwing people through windows, or Ja with what he's doing, or listen, I'm gonna throw Kyrie in there too, man, talking about the earth is flat. I don't want anybody growing up thinking that. Like when that's the case, that's when you as a parent have to reel your kid back in. And like I said, Ja can't really help you with that. Like that's not his job. Ja is having more than enough trouble figuring himself out at this point. And I think that we have lost Jose.
I'm here. Oh,
okay.
It's just my camera's acting up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, like I said, I put that on Ja's father. Right. He's
Yeah.
got to be the one to reel him in and say we're not doing that. Right.
And I saw the comment about Memphis's leadership. That's not on them either. They're not there to
No.
teach these dudes how to be responsible adults.
No.
They're grown-ups.
Listen, this is the job. This is a profession. It's none of
Yeah.
the jobs to mature them into grown men.
No.
Now, some organizations have, they might happen to have people in position that can do that, right?
Mhm.
And that's a bonus, but it's not their job. When you give him $250 million, you expect the maturity to be there.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, and yes, I get it. And I think they understand that you're gonna have some immaturity at a young age, and they're willing to deal with that. But this extra stuff, especially when they tell you cut it out, you need to cut it out.
Yeah, because there's different types of immaturity, right? Like you can't put what he's doing on anybody but him. When the Wizards drafted Kwame Brown straight out of high school, they said he didn't know how to check into a hotel. Right. That's a form of immaturity because he just lacked experience. He was a child. And you work through that, and you kind of that's when you put your arm around him and you bring him along, and you teach him how to do stuff or whatever, because he's just very, very young. That's a whole different type of immaturity than what you're seeing with Ja is more than immature. He's just irresponsible is what you're looking at, right? He knows that he shouldn't be doing that, but he doesn't care.
Right. All right, let me read a couple of comments here. I gotta try to fix my camera here. Something went wrong. JP says, "Great point, Jose. At the end of the day, Ja needs to hold himself accountable. Just have to hope he has a moment to reflect sooner than later." Yeah. Kylie on Wheel says, "When your dad is trying to be your best friend instead of being father because you got the bag, he's done." That's something there. B, read a couple more of these comments here. I'm gonna hop off real quick and try to restart this.
All right. What's up, Derek? He says money, career, and livelihood could be in jeopardy. I think look, he has his contract unless he does something illegal and just very serious. He's not going to lose the money. He'll lose out on future money, but I mean he's locked into a pretty good sum right now. So I mean it is a concern, but I don't know about the primary concern. But his livelihood in terms of him being in the NBA, that's absolutely in jeopardy. I mean, we can look at Kyrie Irving, he's 31 now, I believe. And look, Kyrie hasn't done anything, serious off the court. He's just a guy that people don't want to be around, right? He kind of, he's a cooler in the locker room. He kind of tears teams apart, right? And they just don't want him around. Not a good guy to have on your team in your locker room. And that is affecting him already, right? Brooklyn didn't want to give him the max deal, traded him, and now you're looking at free agency where everybody's like, man, who is going to risk bringing Kyrie Irving in? And that's after a number of years. He's, like I said, he's 31. Ja's much younger, but the things that he's doing are going to get him out of the league much, much faster than Kyrie Irving. Let's see. Amrob says, although I don't agree with his actions, but according to a part of society in the U.S., he did wrong here, was being black with a gun. He's acting childish, but he shouldn't lose his job for it. I agree with you in part. That is, there is a different reaction to seeing black people with firearms than there is to seeing white people. But it's not just that. There are black players who have posed for pictures with weapons as well. Draymond Green has a picture out there of him, sitting with a rifle or laying down with a rifle. I think he's at a shooting range or something like that. But the way he was doing it was absolutely reckless and irresponsible. And I think that's a big part of the reaction. Now, I don't think that he should lose his job right now. It's a question of whether or not this kind of behavior continues and escalates. Because again, it's not just, hey, I went on Instagram Live flashing a gun. There's also talk about him physically assaulting people, right? And granted that they didn't have enough evidence to charge on that. So that's why, right now it's kind of just, it's in the back of your mind, but it's not something where you're going to act on it because, nothing really came of that at this point. But if this kind of behavior continues and, like I said, escalates, then he absolutely should lose his job. But right
So
now, you're correct, Andrew. I'm not over this.
yeah, I agree with his actions, but according to part of the society, yeah. Um, yeah. And that was my whole point that I brought up would be that I don't care about the gun part of it. I don't miss me with that part, right? What was he doing with the gun? Isn't that look? We don't know. I mean, look, we don't know if it's his gun, if it's registered, if it's a legal gun. We don't know, but we can make assumptions. We make assumptions about anybody else that poses with the gun that is legal, right?
Mhm.
And the way these laws are going in this country, these laws care less and less about whether it's registered or not, right? They just want you to have a gun in your hand. So the morality of that, miss me with that. I don't care about your morals on that. But in terms of what are you doing for your team, that's why I care about, and that's why I'm okay with the suspension, because I think they tried their hardest to kind of move past all the other stuff, because they didn't really make a big deal about him assaulting the 17-year-old or the incident he had with the security guard. They kind of just said, oh yeah, we're investigating, oh look, nothing to see here, right? And they probably talked to him privately, say, hey man, stay away from that stuff. The first time he flashed a gun, all right man, we're going to give you an 8-game suspension, whatever, don't do it anymore. He apologized, say he's getting help or whatever, and then right back to doing it again. Yeah, that just tells me there's no regard for your team, and the team is playing better without you when you're not in the lineup. Somebody that talented and the team performs better without you, that speaks volumes, right?
Yeah. Now, and to be fair, it's not a significant boost. They are very good with him on the court, but they
Yeah,
are just a little bit better statistically without him. So that doesn't look great.
yeah. So, we'll see if he learns from this. He's very young.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised if the team says, okay, we're going to keep him and help him go through this, or they say, nah, we're good. We'll find somebody that's not trying to compete right now, because that's the thing. Memphis is at a point where Memphis always competed. They're always in the playoffs, right? The grindhouse. That's who they are.
Mhm.
They might be past that point where they're waiting for him to grow up, and hopefully in 5 years they would have a legit chance to win. They might try to make an aggressive move now, saying, okay, who can we trade, to get somebody in return for, like, maybe like a Dame Lillard, right? Plus something else for John Morant. I could see them trying to be aggressive and get a more mature player and really trying to go for it. So I don't know, man. Be on the lookout. I don't know if he's going to finish his career in Memphis.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Look, we don't know. We don't know Ja personally, but if I had to bet, I'm gonna bet on him not getting the message soon. So
I think you know what? I'm gonna disagree. I think he will. I think if depending on the suspension, like you said, if he misses like half the season, that's a lot of time. That's a
to
good
be
chunk of
on the
money.
gram,
Yeah.
so
I think no, I think the message will be sent, because you and I talk
a
about it, right?
lot of time to get his criminal empire off the ground.
But no, you and I talk about it. John Morant is a young rising star, but he's not the
Mhm.
face of the league, right? And the league doesn't need him to be the face of the league. This isn't
No,
a situation where they think he's the next LeBron,
no.
right? And hey, LeBron is retiring. We need a new face, and we're expecting Ja to do it. So we got to really work with him. There's a lot of young talent in the league,
Yeah.
and I mean the way LeBron's playing, it could be 10 more years before they need another
Well,
face.
yeah,
But
because you've got Jokic right now, the best player in the league, arguably. You've got Giannis. You've
Giannis
got
is extremely popular.
Yeah, you've
Yeah,
got Luca coming up next. You got Jason Tatum. There are plenty of guys who are already near that top level in the league who are very popular, who are young, right? And then now you say he's not the next LeBron. The next LeBron's going to San Antonio, right? Victor Wembanyama is going to be the next. Well, what everybody thinks is going to be the next big superstar. I don't think that John Morant really uh, gets how quickly he can be forgotten in the NBA.
right. I think spend some time watching the game instead of being a part of the game. That could start to, it can start to get through to him a little bit. We'll see.
Hopefully,
We'll see. Yeah.
hopefully.
All right. You want to switch over to some Ravens talk?
I mean, I don't want to, but let's go for
Ravens and Panthers. Ravens and Panthers. Listen.
Nobody wants to talk about these damn Ravens.
Wow, I think they all want to talk about the Ravens. Hater. And yes, like Coach says, smash that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I meant to put together a little graphic, but we have some goals across our different platforms here. Okay, if you don't know, right, we are part of the Ravens Roundup, which you can find on Sit to Tally Films. Okay, Sit to Tally, that's the channel right there. That's the guy, Coach Evans. Every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, the Ravens Roundup. Okay, along with Hendo from the Road Pod, Mikey from Open Mic with OTR Mike. All right, you got Chris Just Joking from the Deep Cover Pod. All right, and ourselves. Okay, and yeah, we have goals. We all have goals. We are trying to reach 1,600 subscribers.
Yes,
that's our next goal. Help us reach 1,600 subscribers. I'm not sure what the subscriber count is at now. Somewhere in the 1,500.
Well, I'm glad that you asked because it is at 1,521.
1,521. All right, let's get it going. All right. So if I can do math, 79 subscribers we need. Coach Evans is trying to reach. He reached 8,000. Right. Okay. I think it's 8,000. I can't remember what his next goal is. Put your goal in there, Coach. And Hendo is close to 1,800. He's close to 1,800.
Yes.
So, and then Open Mic with OTR Mike, 500. Ring Kings Podcast, 500. Those are the goals. Okay. Let's go. Yes. Road to 1,600. Let's go. All right. All right. Lamar's expectations are high. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They're high. We all know it. We're all excited that he's back. Okay. We're relieved that he's back. Yes. Coach says 600 for the streets. Yes. For more Sit to Tally, we need to get to 600 subscribers. All right. Yes. Nitro's blowing up. I think he's close to 4,000 now. So we got to get Nitro to 4,000 subscribers as well. All right. Yes, indeed. Yes. But yes, yeah. We're all excited for Lamar. We're happy. We're relieved. We're excited. We got OBJ. Don't you guys feel even more excited now that Lamar signed? Like when they first got OBJ, I was sitting there like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like, yeah, good player. I think he still has it. I'm one of those people that think Lamar or Odell still has it. Right. I don't think he's a shell of himself or anything like that. What's up, Living Legend? I see you in there. I think he's still good. Zay Flowers, I think he's going to be good. I still think Rashad Bateman is going to be good. Right. Yeah. But I didn't care about any of that if we didn't have Lamar.
Yeah, it was like, hey, we got Odell Beckham, and it's like, cool. Tyler Huntley to Odell Beckham, 400 yards incoming.
Right. Right. No, or Will Levis, if you believe the rumors that's what they were looking. How would you guys have felt? If we had drafted Will Levis? If the Lamar deal didn't get done, we traded him, and we had drafted Will Levis. Would you feel good about our weapons? Just let me know. Let me know if you're like, well, hey, Will Levis to Odell and Zay Flowers, that could work. You wouldn't be excited about that, right? But we got Lamar, so now you're pumped. Okay, we're all pumped about it. Okay, so yes, expectations are high, man. Lamar last year, if he was healthy, expectations would have been high.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we didn't like how the coaching staff looked. Obviously, that training keeping everybody hurt. And the weapons weren't great, but they've upgraded. Okay, at least we think at coaching. We think, and he obviously upgraded the wide receiver core. So this team, we haven't given any projections for Lamar himself, but Lamar says 6,000 yards. So okay, Nacho says 5,000 yards, 56 touchdowns, passing touchdowns. 5 TDs on the ground. Only 5 touchdowns on the ground?
Well, if he's throwing 56, I don't leave that many possessions.
That's true. That's true.
I'm gonna go way out on the limb and say he doesn't hit those numbers. But
I like what you're thinking.
Have a fantastic season. I don't really think he'll eclipse the MVP season numbers. just because that was a phenomenal season, particularly on the ground. He ran for over 1,200 yards. I don't see him getting anywhere near that. But I think this is going to be his best season just in terms of the offense itself. Not the best season statistically for Lamar, but I think they're going to have a great record. I think the offense is going to be actually very good as opposed to just kind of, smoke and mirrors type of good. It's going to be the kind of good that carries over to the playoffs, which is what matters in Baltimore at this point.
Yeah. That just says he'll break multiple records this season. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Listen, Lamar is locked in. That's why I'm really hyped about this, right? And shout out to Nitro for the interview that he did, because that interview, I think it revealed a lot, right? I mean, I think that was one of the more candid interviews he's done. And when Lamar speaks, I don't think Lamar doesn't say the cliche stuff. Oh yeah, first one in, last one out. Give it 110% every day. All the blah blah blah. He's not fake like that, right? When he tells you, listen, man, I'm trying to win a Super Bowl. He's serious about that, right? Mm-hmm. He approaches the game that way. Everybody knows he works hard in the offseason. He puts in a lot of work. He works with a lot of different coaching QBs and whatnot. He's always working on his form. He's working on his craft. So I don't have any worries about him. OBJ's the same way. Yes, he's gotten hurt, but the way he approaches the game is why I'm not worried about him long term. He's not somebody that relies on athleticism to be great. So he could lose a step. It won't matter. He's still going to be great on the field, right? And Zay Flowers, from a little bit I saw in mini camps or whatever, he looks like he don't play around either. He looks like everybody this year looks like they're about business. And Mark Andrews is always about business. You know what I'm saying? Like we have young players that aren't out there fooling around. They're out there ready to go. So I expect a lot of great things out there to happen. Yeah. What's up, Tanja? She says, "Hey, Jose and Brodny, and listening." There you go. Yes.
Thank you, Tanja.
MDT Sports says 45 touchdowns, 40 touchdowns passing, 4,885 yards passing, 800 yards rushing. Okay. All right. And that, listen, that's not far away from Nitro's prediction. That's possible. I want to see those rushing yards come down, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I don't think you can really get that many rushing yards if you're getting that many passing yards. It is a finite number of possessions, and the field is only the 100 yards. And you're not going the 100 yards every time you get the ball, so it's tough to get that much production.
Yeah. I can see more passing yards. I can see him well into the 4,000s, maybe even close to 5,000. But the rushing is going to be J.K. Dobbins, hopefully.
It had better be.
It had better be. J.K. Dobbins is another running back that's locked in, okay? And he's been saying it all offseason, you better give me that ball, right? So I want to see J.K. Dobbins over 1,000 yards rushing. We better see J.K. Dobbins over 1,000 yards rushing. I want to see Lamar more like 400 yards.
Yeah, like I said, you better see him over 1,000, and it better be, not 1,001. Because if he doesn't hit that, I don't ever want to hear any of you tell me again that wasn't a wasted pick.
Yeah, because we all agree that J.K. Dobbins is talented enough to be one of the better, running backs in the league. He's talented enough to where we can make an argument for him being top 5, right? He could be that kind of guy, but he's got to get the production.
Yeah,
and he's getting the production off a limited amount of carries. He's got to get those carries to really show it.
Yeah, I mean, he has 1,300 yards rushing in 3 years. Right. It is what it is. You can't make any kind of argument with that production.
No, and you can say, "Oh, he had more carries," but he's not getting the carries.
Right.
4,545 passing for Devon Allen. That's what he says. Agent E says he guarantees. He says, "I guarantee Lamar is going to have 1,000 yards rushing this season." You guarantee it?
He had better not.
Chat, do you guys think Lamar Jackson will have 1,000 yards rushing? I don't think he will.
No,
I don't think he will.
I don't think the OC Todd Monken is going to call a ton of designed runs for Lamar. That'll still be part of the game plan for sure, because he is a very dangerous runner. But I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as much as what they had done previously. And I don't think you're going to see him run on passing plays as much because you have receivers who can actually get open.
Okay, he's doubling down on it. I'll tell you what, Agent E, I'm gonna write your name down. We listen. If he hits 1,000 yards, we'll give you a shirt. Living Legend, we haven't forgotten about you. We promised you we'd get you a shirt. You didn't actually win it, but I got to throw that out there because me and B are undefeated. I just want you guys to understand this. Me and B, when we have these discussions about players, we are undefeated. Okay, Agent E, I'm writing your name down right now. 1,000 yards. If he hits it, he won't. We'll send you a shirt. All right. And yes, I got to write Living Legend down because he gave us his address and everything. We gotta get that out too.
Yeah, but we need the size and what shirt he wants and whatnot.
I think he sent that. I
don't think we have a size, but we're putting up some new shirts anyway. So yeah.
Kogan, what's going on? Says, I know to take lists lightly, but did y'all see who?
Chadiah.
Oh, Chadiah's list of 7 most likely teams to win Super Bowl over the Chiefs that had the Jets, Chargers, and Cowboys on a list, but no Ravens. Get out of here. Listen, man, this is a tough year for content. If you're the media, it's tough, right? This is a tough part of the year. There's nothing to talk about. What we're talking about right now, this isn't news, right? No. We're just, we're talking Ravens stuff. You guys love Ravens. We love the Ravens. Well, B loves the Panthers. We're going to talk about the Panthers in a minute. But there's nothing really to talk about, in terms of NFL. Like, they haven't started training camp yet. Okay? It's quiet right now. So
Marcus Peters went to visit the Raiders. And Vic Tarfor said, don't expect him to sign with the Raiders soon.
Yeah. Ojabo had a little press conference. He said that he feels good. Owe said that he didn't really have an off season. He's been working hard, and I believe him. By the way, another thing. Hey, what's up, Mikey?
Hey, man. Y'all left the door open, so I just
you just walk right there. Yeah. Welcome.
I haven't seen you guys. I haven't talked to y'all much this week. Just missing you guys a little bit, so I just decided to drop in on y'all, man.
Appreciate it, mate. Loving the hat too, man.
Love the hat.
Appreciate it.
Hey, and I apologize, Mikey, because usually Mike is the first person I call in the morning on my way to work. But we usually have a morning huddle up, right? And this week has been crazy. I'll tell you later.
I get it, bro. I get it.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna backpedal just a little bit because I want to get your thoughts on Ja Morant real quick.
Let me get you set up there. There you go.
Bro, like oh man, like I don't know. I don't know what's going on, what he's thinking. I mean, he's risking a lot of cheese right now, right? And it's not looking good for him. I mean, anytime you get the commissioner of the league on live TV saying, this doesn't look good, I think the suspension is going to be severe. So maybe it's something that he needs. Maybe he needs to sit down for a little bit. I don't know, but I just don't. I personally don't get it. Now, clearly, I appreciate that, Zahul. Clearly, he didn't take this last situation serious, right? And then part of that I put on the league, like 8 games, we whip-de-do, right? But you could kind of tell, the way you got to tell the way he came off of that suspension, right? He still was acting a certain kind of way. Like I didn't, even with the way he was acting, I didn't think that we'd see this again, right?
Right.
But he did have this kind of carefree, careless, like, yeah, whatever type attitude when he came back. So it's unfortunate. I do think, as I said on the episode I did talking about Ja Morant, I do think that whether he wants it or not, whether the league wants it or not, whether the fans believe it or not, he is the face or next in line to be the face of this in NBA, just because the young fans love him so much. His fan base with the kids is like huge and it's worldwide. And I think the commissioner alluded to that yesterday. So it's just not a good look for him. It's not a good look, for the league. Obviously, if this was the guy, that rides the bench for the Utah Jazz, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, right? Because they're not worried about him being anything or anywhere close to being any face of the league. But this is major because he has that star power, and they got to get a hold of this now, which is why I think it'll be a severe suspension, possibly up to a year. But I don't know, man. I just hope the brother gets it together because, listen, that's a ton of. I'm sure Nike. We haven't heard it yet, but I'm sure Nike may back away from him. He already missed out on $40 million from not making All NBA. So he's gonna put a lot of cheese on the line.
$40 million. What's up, Raven C? Raven C says, did anybody ask the real Ja how he feel? Like Dave says, where's Ja Rule? We need you, Ja. That's funny. That's funny. Kogan has a question here. It says, do y'all think the right place with the right mentors could help him grow and mature? And if so, then where? No, I think if his father can't get through to him, I mean, if I'm an exec, that's what I'm thinking. If his own dad is there every game with them, isn't getting through to him, who are we going to get that's going to really mentor him? Right? It's not a organization's job to babysit anybody. You're expected to be a professional, and honestly, that's why they spend a lot of time scouting and interviewing. Or that's what they're supposed to do anyway, scouting and interviewing these players so get a feel for them. Is this somebody that we can invest millions of dollars into long term? You do due diligence. And I think for the most part he's been fine, but then all of a sudden he got that money, he turned up.
Yeah, and mentoring is not a one-way street. Like, you have to be receptive to it for it to have any effect. And I don't know what we have seen from Ja that would suggest that he's open to being mentored.
Yeah. He says he's going to get Converse Blue contracts now.
Yeah, it's a shame, man.
Udonis Haslam. That's it, right, Ron? Yeah. That's the only man that can say
it. Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's gonna. I feel like the only thing that's gonna get at him is hitting him where it hurt, and that's his pocket. That may wake him up. I mean, let's keep it in context. I mean, he's 23 years old, so he's a kid, right? You get these kids $200 million plus, man, they bug out. And then they got friends who bug out with them. The friends made it too, right? So I don't know, man. I mean, it appeared in the video that the friend, once he looked over at him and saw what he had, he tried to like hide the phone, but it was too late. And at that point, I'm pretty sure John knew he was live. So it's like you're just being a butt. You know what I mean? You're doing it on purpose at this point.
Yeah, I think the friend. So look, I don't think the friend was expecting John Wick to pick up a gun, right? I think he would just live. They were dancing and driving in the car or whatever, and that's why he got the quick response of like, "Oh, let me put the phone down," and he turned off the light. I'm sure he probably told him, "Yo, bro, I was live." What? I was live. Like, you saw me hold the camera up. Like, what do you think I was doing? You know what I'm saying? That's on job. But also, man, like, again, you need to change your circle. And this is where, Mikey, you and I are fathers, right? If that was little Mikey doing something like that, you would grab him by his neck, be like, check this out. Your friends, like Thanos snap, gone. They turn to dust. You're not hanging with any of them anymore. Okay, I better not see any guns on you. I'm flipping your mattress over. I'm going through everything. I'm confiscating everything.
Yeah.
You on lockdown.
Did you even realize that you called him John Wick just now, or is that just his name now?
Huh?
John Wick.
John Wick. that's his name. That's what they've been calling him. That's his name on the streets. Look, listen, pro basketball reference lists the nicknames of basketball players. John Wick will be on there if it's not on there already. That's his name now. You earned that. You earned that title. Okay. All right. Let's flip back to Lamar.
One more thing. Did y'all see the there was a post of Ja in a Chicago Bulls uniform, and they were saying like, maybe he needs a change of scenery. And somebody retweeted and was like, "This is the last place he needs to go in Chicago."
Well, that's the other thing we talked about too, right? Like, we all know Ja ain't really built like that, right? And that's fine. Like, you don't want to be, right? You shouldn't want to be. You made it, you don't want to attract the wrong people. You don't want to put that target on your back, right? Because people are following you. They'll and the wrong people will start to follow you. They'll start to track your movements, and you don't want to make the wrong enemies unnecessarily. Like, lay low, move differently, But yeah, so Lamar's expectations, people have been putting 5,000 passing yards, 4,000 passing yards. Agent E guarantees 1,000 rushing yards. He didn't say, Agent E, how many passing yards did you have for Lamar? Just curious. But Mikey, what are your expectations for Lamar this year?
Man, I'm not even, I've seen all the lofty numbers and stuff like that. I even heard what he said, right? And it's good that he has high expectations for himself. I just want to see an offense that's competent, one that moves the ball, one that we aren't like, what the heck are y'all doing? You know what I mean? And I think if we have that, which I think we will have a better offense, I think the numbers will be there. They're gonna come, no matter what it is. We haven't. Hold on, but
there he is right there.
Yes,
that's little Mikey.
Yes, but I'm recording. Look, so go over there. But I think the numbers are gonna come, right? But I wouldn't be surprised to see 4,000 yards passing, 35 or more touchdowns, another 8 to 10 rushing. Hopefully, if he does rush for 1,000 yards, hopefully it's an easy 1,000. Like, it just happened because it was there. But 500, 600, 700 yards rushing, and I feel like 700 might be too much. That might mean that he's running a little bit too much. But I just want to see wins, and I want to see us be able to step on opponents' necks and put them away when we got the chance to. Yep. And I think in this offense, I think it will. I think we'll see that.
Yeah, so he says 6,000. And Nigel thinks he'll get close to 6,000. I heard him talk about that. He wasn't being literal. He didn't say, no, I seriously want 6,000. He was just like, man, I feel like we could throw for 6,000. People just kind of took that out of context.
All of a sudden, people didn't know what hyperbole was.
Yeah. Oh, Lamar thinks he could throw for 6,000 yards. Who does he think he is?
I told you he was stupid.
Yeah. But I think so. Nitro is saying 6,000 total yards, close to 6,000 total yards. And that's still a hell of a lot. But yeah,
he wasn't being serious, Nitro. I mean, well, he was. He was saying he feels like they had the talent to do that. He wasn't saying I'm going to throw for 6,000 yards. That's not what he was saying, right? I know that's your man. I know you talked to him, whatever, but that's not what he was saying in that interview. But either way, right? The stats, whatever. We know Lamar is gonna perform, right? Whether it's 4,000 passing yards, 5,000, 6,000, whatever. That's not what we're judging him on at this point. What's he going to do in the postseason? Right. That's where my expectations begin with him. We're going to make the playoffs. I know that. Right. I think even Lamar at his worst gets us to the playoffs. So I'm not worried about that part. What's he going to do in the postseason? I expect at the very least AFC Championship. And I really expect to get to the Super Bowl, right? Like I can't say 100% you better be in the Super Bowl when Kansas City Chiefs are there because they're amazing.
Yeah, the AFC is ridiculously tough.
Yes, but all things considered, everybody's healthy. I expect us to at least be in the AFC Championship. We can't have no first round bounce. Really, I don't want us bounce in the second round either. So at least AFC Championship is my expectations. The stats, I mean, they're gonna be what they're gonna be. They're gonna be good either way. Let's see. What else we got? Moscala says, don't know if you guys are still alive, but Brodny, you can get that many yards plus stats if the defense gets you the ball back. Just saying.
I mean, if no other team plays any offense, I mean, okay. Like the most passing yards in NFL history is 5,562.
Was that by was that by Mahomes?
No, that was Drew Brees.
Drew Brees.
Mahomes' best is 5,369. Right. So, if you're throwing for 5,000 plus yards, you are likely not going to have enough just left over for him to get to 1,000 yards rushing, especially when you consider that you had to give the ball to J.K. Dobbins at some point.
Also, listen,
right.
I think we have talent. We ain't got that kind of coaching.
Yeah.
We damn sure don't have that kind of coaching. We don't have Sean Payton is an offensive-minded coach, right? He wants to put up a lot of points. That ain't John Harbaugh, right? And Todd Monken, we got that remains to be seen. I think we could be a dangerous offense. We can be an efficient offense, but Harbaugh likes to burn the clock. So that alone is going to keep us from putting up that many stats, and that's fine. Like I said, if he throws for 3,500 yards, if he repeats what he did in his MVP season, 3,500 yards, 35 touchdowns, like 4 or 5 interceptions, that's great. That's great. I don't need any gaudy stats. I need to see him show out in the playoffs, right? Where we need him to, and I think he will. That's his expectation. That's my expectation. All right.
The leading rusher on that team, by the way, where Brees threw for 5,500 yards was Darren Sproles with 600 yards.
There you go.
They had Pierre Thomas at 560, marking number 474. But yeah, nobody over, not even the 650 yards rushing. Yeah. And you've got Lamar, J.K. Dobbins, and allegedly Gus Edwards.
Yeah, no, Nitro's right. He said it's Peyton Manning that has the record by 1 yard.
Is it?
Yeah, 5,477 yards is what he has. Drew Brees has 5,476.
That's not what the thing said here when I looked it up, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nitro.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, that's the expectation I have. Going over to the Panther side, right, with Bryce Young. Okay. We also have high expectations for Bryce Young. Number 1 overall pick. Okay. The Panthers were one of the teams that said no thank you to Lamar. Okay. We have other plans. Lamar's price is too high and we can do better.
I don't know why you need to frame it that way.
That's what they said.
Okay.
That's what they said.
Okay.
They did not say that. Let me go find Tepper's quote there. I think he said, "Look, too rich for my blood." Okay,
And you know what? When they win the division and make the playoffs, not having paid somebody $260 million, what you gonna say then? What's up then?
Wow, getting a little touchy there. Okay, all right. When you got this kid over here, leading you out to the playoffs. All right.
Yeah, he's going to.
He looks so. I wanted to download this picture of him in the huddle in practice. It looked like a little fan ran out to the field, threw on his red jersey, and just got into practice. He looks so tiny.
He's a little slight in stature, for sure.
but he's good. We all know what he can do on the field. We all know what he can do on the field.
It's just not nice.
No, but okay. I don't know, Panthers Nation. Okay, all the Panthers fans, put it in the chat, even non-Panthers fans. What is your expectation for Bryce Young? I obviously, me and B expect them to win a division. I think that's not even a question. I think they better win a division as far as I'm concerned. But him individually, performance-wise, how he does regular season and postseason, like what do you see for him? I think,
just to clarify real quick, what I was talking about with the 5,500 yards, that was the most yards from scrimmage, not passing yards. Because Drew ran for a tidy 86 that season. Now, in terms of Bryce Young, in terms of numbers, I've said multiple times I expect him to win 10 games, win the division, go to the playoffs. In terms of Bryce's numbers, I'm gonna say it's tough to say because of the health of Thielen and Chark, but I'm gonna say he gets just over 4,000, 4,200 yards. I think he'll probably throw between 28 and 32 touchdowns, maybe a little less, maybe a little bit fewer than that. I'll say between 26 and 30 touchdowns. I don't expect him to throw too many interceptions. That's kind of his, one of his selling points is he's got that IQ, he's got the anticipation and everything, he's got the accuracy. So I'm going to say between 26 and 30 touchdowns, and I think he'll get maybe 11, 12 interceptions is what I'm kind of expecting. And then, maybe we'll toss on a 120 rushing yards.
I actually think, I think he's going to throw, around 4,000 yards. I think his passing touchdowns are probably going to be around 25, and his interceptions are probably like around 7 or something like that, 7 to 8. Rushing yards, not that many. I actually think Miles Sanders is going to have a very good year rushing. I think they're going to really focus on the run and have him play efficient football this year. And he's the type of quarterback he's smart, right? He doesn't make too many poor decisions. I think he'll be safe with the ball. They'll run the ball, and he'll be accurate with his passes. You're gonna see a very efficient offense. It won't be gaudy numbers, but it'll be highly sufficient, in my opinion.
Man, numbers wise, I'm gonna say this. I always have a not so fast moment. Bryce, and I don't know if this is going to be that. I mean, maybe he's probably expected to do this, but I'm going to say he runs away with the Rookie of the Year award. He runs away with the Rookie of the Year award. He will be a Pro Bowler this year. I'm kind of more in line with Mr. J. I think he throws slightly under 4,000 yards. But he doesn't have, we'll see, maybe 10 to 11 interceptions, maybe 20, anywhere between 25 and 28 touchdowns. But they will win the division, and he's going to be steady Eddie. I think that, you'll see a few rookie hiccups here and there. And I said this on the roundup. I think that the Panthers will be in every game that they play, right? I think them being somewhat young, having a young quarterback, you may see a game or two or a couple where they're right there and they lost just off of something, just being a young team, an inexperienced team. But I think him leading them to a division title in a playoff berth, his first year, I think he will walk away with those accolades, that Rookie of the Year, Pro Bowl.
Well said. Mr. J says 3,700 yards, 7 interceptions, with 3 being on the wide receiver, 25 touchdowns, and 5 rushing TDs, and 300 rushing yards. So I think we have a similar projection for him. Moscala says, hey, at 9, 8, 8, and 9, the Panthers still can make the playoffs in the NFC, but B, can y'all beat Philly? They gonna be there, just saying.
Yes.
You think they can beat Philly?
Yes. They will not, but they can.
Yes. That's the thing in the NFL. Like, anything can happen. Look, 98, 8 and 9 could win a division. That would have won. 8 and 9 would have won a division last year. Well, 8 and 9 did win a division.
Did win the division last year. I think that, like I said, I looked at their schedule a few times. I have 10 wins there. But yeah, maybe one or two fewer, one or two more, but it's they're gonna win that division because the Saints and Derek Carr are not it.
Yeah. Raven C wanted to know how you felt about Jonathan Mingo.
I'm happy with it. I think that, hopefully his numbers are lower this year. That means that Thielen and Chark stayed healthy for the whole season. But I think he's got a lot of talent. I was very happy with that, them picking him up in the second round, especially since I kind of thought that they were going to try to go edge or tight end there. So it was kind of a pleasant surprise. But I think moving forward, yeah, he's a great piece to have for that offense.
Yeah. D Weezy says 8 or 9 win season, numbers up in the air. No idea what the Panthers offense will look like. Yeah, we know. We're just making predictions. Throw some numbers out there, D Weezy. That's all we doing. We don't know for sure. We're going to change our mind once preseason starts and all that. Just throw something out there. We're having fun right now.
13.
Yeah.
go lofty like I did for my man Owe when I said he'd have 15.5 sacks his rookie year.
Listen, he's right that we don't know what Bryce Young looks like, right? We don't know exactly what you're going to get from Thielen and Chark or Mingo. I mean, you know what you're going to get from Hayden Hurst, and you're going to be underwhelmed. But what they have going for them is they have a very good young O-line, and that's the foundation of any good offense. Miles Sanders a 1,200-yard back. So I expect, even if all those guys aren't great, that they'll still be able to move the ball and they'll still be able to score.
Yeah. And salute to Suge Knight 1323 over on Twitch says, question, why do you all think Lamar can throw for all these yards when he hasn't in his career? You are betting on 2 wide receivers who are coming off injury and a rookie wide receiver. And with the Ravens track record drafting now, all of a sudden Ravens have figured it out. Okay. Fair question. But you say he hasn't done it in his career. He's played for 5 years. You haven't done something until you've done it. He's shown the ability to do it, right? Like he hasn't thrown for 4,000 yards, not because he can't do it. It's because of the offense that he's in. And I think you recognize that as well, right? Leading the league in touchdowns, showing how efficient he was with the ball, in a running offense, right? They broke the league record for rushing yards, right? Most rushing yards in the history of the NFL. So that goes to show you what he can do when you're running the ball all the time. A more balanced offense, it's projection. Like you project him to do more. So yeah, okay, you have players come off injury. Players come off of injury. I mean, you're a Steelers fan. TJ Watt came off of injury. Do you expect TJ Watt to come back to form, or you think he's fallen off?
Right, and I know that Suge doesn't think Kenny Pickett is going to throw fewer touchdowns than interceptions every year just because that's what he did as a rookie.
Right.
And you can't even use the rookie excuse for him because that doesn't really happen for rookies at this point in the league. The rules are so slanted towards the offense that's not the rookie experience anymore at all, generally, for good players.
Mr. J says right here, isn't Calvin Austin coming off an injury? Deontay forgets he a wide receiver sometimes, and Pickens needs to step up and say, I'm number one. Plus, Robinson isn't young either. There you go. But appreciate the donation. And listen, if you want to be awesome like Suge, there are 2 ways to do that. One, right over to the side of Mikey there in the corner, $ LBHTShow. That is the Cash App. Also, that pin link that you see in the chat box will take you to our stream elements. Both ways, leave your donation, leave your comment. You get a nice little animation right there. Microphone Man will salute you. All right. Let's see what else we got here. See, Suge knew what he was doing. He wants the Steelers hate. Darth Payne says Big Ben never threw for a lot of yards ever in his career, and he had elite wide receivers. I think a couple times he threw for close to 5,000. Right. I could be wrong. I know he had a few years where he threw like in the 4,000s. He had some good years. Yeah. He had some good years for sure. It says 3156 yards, 22 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Is that for Bryce? I think that's for Bryce Young. I'm expecting about 2 or 3 games of running backs and O-line to carry us. That's what Mr. J talking about the Panthers. Okay. What we got next?
Up next, we have the NBA playoffs.
All right, we got some NBA playoffs next. Yes, Mikey's excited. I'm excited. B's excited because I know you guys, you know, his Lakers took a loss yesterday. You think B is feeling down, but he is not feeling down. All right. But before we get to the NBA playoffs, we got a quick word. First we got an announcement. Okay, let's play that. Yes. Okay. For our audio listeners, what we just heard was our advertisement for August 4th for the Roundup meet and greet. Okay, happening in Columbia, Maryland, at Bus Boys and Poets. A very nice spot. It's a nice area. We're gonna have food, drinks, alcoholic beverages available via Cash Bar. And we're going to be giving away prizes, playing music. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. So get your tickets now. They're on sale. They're starting to pick up. Okay. We have limited spots. So don't miss out. All right. What's up, Buck? Buck has a new name. He's got a new identity for his channel, Arizona Armchair Sports. Okay. He is all things Arizona fan. So, you know, go give him a look, give him a sub, and you know, give him a like on his videos. Raven C is also ready here. He's ready to talk basketball. He says, "I'll say it for y'all. Celtics going all the way to the finals to play the Lakers."
That's right, Raven.
Okay. Oh, all right. Right. Let's get this started. All right. So, all right, we'll start with Mikey. Mikey, the Lakers, they were getting blown out last night, and they fought all the way back, and they fell short. Okay, I'll leave it there. What is your take on the game, and what is your take on the series?
One, Joker, Caldwell, Pope. What's the other dude name?
Michael Porter.
Michael Porter. Like they not gonna play like that every game, right? No. Like they would just hit a lot of big shots. I mean, they were on, right? The scary part about that, you know, them being up by 25 at one point and the Lakers fought back to get it. What they got it down to one? I mean, 3, right? Yeah, got it down to 3. That should be Denver should be a little scared about that, right? I agree with LeBron. Whether you lose by 25 or 1 point, you lost, right? It's an L. But I think the Lakers are okay. You know, nothing happened. When you get to this point in the playoffs, nothing happened but the home team protecting their home court advantage to this point, and it's to be expected, right? You're the home team. You're expected to protect it. You know, that is the pressure on you to protect it. We'll see what happens tomorrow in game 2, but I think the Lakers are just fine. Look, the Joker played like that dude. He's a beast, right? What he did out there is crazy, but AD did his thing too. So I think we'll see a better effort from the Lakers on Thursday. I still pick them to come out of the West. But I think they're fine, man. I think they're fine. They just got off to a horrible start, and they cannot do that, right? But you're not gonna, like I said before, you're not gonna get 34. Yeah, well, you might get 34 out of the Joker.
Yeah, Jokic might play like that every night.
Yeah, he might play, but you're not gonna get what you got out of Porter. You're not gonna get what you got out of Caldwell Pope all the time, and then even getting 31 from
Jamal Murray.
Yeah,
not gonna happen every night.
No. You know, they came out hot. We'll see what happens in game 2. I think game 2 will tell a lot. But I think the Lakers are fine.
All right. And salute to Shug for another donation. Says me and Mike about I think he said about to be lit August. He said August 5th. August 4th, man. August 4th.
Don't
If
show up
you-
August 5th.
No, because August 5th is the MIG too.
Oh Lord. if you need to get into the side door, cash at me. See, listen, this is what happens when you get your tickets from the streets. He going to sell you tickets for August 5th and not August 4th. Nuggets were hitting shots and couldn't miss. I don't know if they can do that all series. Shout out to Brodny for jumping on live stream yesterday. Yes, listen, Suge Knight 323. Also go over to his channel. A good friend of ours. He does the Steelers Conspiracy. And he was doing some post game reactions yesterday. Mm-hmm. Excellent show. Listen, the Steel Conspiracy. If you don't know this, I didn't know this. B explain this to me. Right? It's a Steeler and Ravens podcast. So I knew that part, right? Sugar's a Steelers fan, right? And Hendo's on the show, and you know, and B comes on there. But you know, you get the Ravens fandom from Hendo. Okay, so you talk Steelers, you talk Ravens, and the name says Steel, obviously for Steelers. Conspiracy. Do you guys know what a conspiracy is? It is a flock of ravens. Didn't know that. Didn't know that. All right.
Wow. Okay.
So you got Steelers and Ravens name. It's very clever, right? Awesome format because they, you know, like this show, they talk Ravens and Steelers, and you know, they talk basketball. But my favorite segment is SDV Talk. SDV Talk. What is that? Stardew Valley. You guys ever play Stardew Valley? It is a very it's a 8-bit game. You can play it on your phone, you can play it on your computer. You're just farming, you know, very peaceful music. It's, you know, it's a lot to do in the game. And I'm not sure if he's still playing the music in the background like he did before, but like they will have conversations about whatever to some Stardew Valley music. It is amazing. All right. So make sure you check it out. Suge Knight 323. Yes. He said a Steelers podcast. It's a Steelers and Ravens podcast. Hendo, and you're on it. You're on it. Yes, I agree with you, Mikey. I think it does matter how you lose, right? I mean, we can sit here and say, hey, a loss is a loss. That's true. But if you're the Lakers, you're saying, and we can take these guys. They showed us their best. That ain't nothing. Had they got blown out, they can now it's like, oh man, we gotta make some adjustments. I don't know if we got it. For Denver, for sure. Denver had to come out strong in that game, right? Denver, I feel like they really needed to win big to set the tone because, I mean, God forbid they drop that game. That's in their head. But they almost dropped the game, and I think it's still going to be in their head. I think they're looking at it like, man, they figured this out at the end. We didn't finish strong. And if the Lakers jump on them early next game, that's going to mess with them for the rest of that series. So, and I think the Lakers, you know, they made some adjustments late. They started out so slow in that first half. I mean, sloppy as hell. But they figured something out, and if that holds up, this could be a 6-game series. Lee, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly agree. I think that the Lakers are fine, and it does matter. You know, unless that's your 4th loss in the series, then it absolutely matters how you lose. You said that's going to be in Denver's head. It was already in Denver's coach's head after the 3rd quarter. You know, they were up double digits, and he was like, "Man, we gave up 38 points. You know, we gotta tighten up here." You saw the Lakers move Rui onto Jokic, and that caused a lot of problems for Denver's offense because now Anthony Davis is free to roam around, protect the rim, try and grab some rebounds. God damn, man, you got to get some more rebounds, Anthony. If you're watching, you have to catch the ball when it comes off the rim, bro.
He got every rebound.
Yeah, he did.
Every single one.
But you know, but I will say in Anthony's defense, you know, not a lot of people out here talking about how Jokic had nothing for him on defense. He scored 40. Okay.
But Jokic ain't don't have defense. We knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, I don't need you trying to diminish anything. All right, he scored
No, I'm
40
not saying
on the man.
I'm not diminishing it.
On the two-time MVP. All right, he scored
just saying.
40.
Look,
4-0.
Jokic know he got a problem on his hands. If AD play like the AD we know, he has a real problem on his hands. So he's gonna be working too.
Yeah, but you know, in this first game, you could see in Denver, particularly in their role players, that they felt like they had to come out and get that game. They were playing very hard, very well right from the jump. They were locked in, and the Lakers were not. The Lakers were playing very lazy defensively, you know, and they were playing dumb basketball through the first couple of quarters, the first 2.5 quarters. I think if they get Mo Bamba back, you know, that's going to make a big difference for him, you know, in terms of kind of trying to close that rebounding gap, and also being able to keep Anthony Davis off of Jokic for the majority of the game. If you can kind of rotate Rui and Bamba, and possibly even Jared Vanderbilt, you know, for small stretches, you know, you can keep Anthony Davis off of him, and you can choke off those extra points. Because, yeah, Jokic is going to do what Jokic is going to do, whether it's Hachimura or Anthony Davis or, you know, Ben Wallace or who you know, Bill Russell, whoever you want to put on him, he's gonna get his numbers. He's that good. But what you can't have is 15 from Bruce Brown, 20 plus from Caldwell Pope. I think Porter ended up with 20 plus also, and then you gotta do a better job on Jamal Murray. He's a guy who can score, but he's not an unstoppable scorer. Right. So, you know, you can't let him go off for 31 every game. But, you know, if they can kind of choke off that supply of extra points from the role players, because the Lakers were outplaying the Nuggets bench, and it wasn't really close, right? The Lakers are a deeper team than Denver. And so if they can, you know, if some of those shots don't fall, or they just play better, more active defense than they did for the majority of that game, I think it's going to be tough for Denver.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Moscal. It says great show and content, guys. Love the Black History Fact too. That's unique for a podcast. Respect. Hey, salute to you, man. Thank you. We appreciate it. We try. We try to give you some good content. And listen, if any of you guys are audio listeners, that's actually how we started. We're still there. So this is available for download wherever you listen to podcasts. All right. Mr. J says LeBron hero ball as messed up our one tiny window to tie the game. Yeah, that was an ill-advised shot. And, you know, I understand he was trying to play big in a big moment. But, you know, for LeBron, drive to the bucket. You know, that's where you need to be LeBron that gets to the bucket. They're not going to, I mean, when you drive, there's nothing you can do other than foul him, right? There's nothing you can't, nobody's going to stop you.
Yeah.
Right. So get those 2 points, and okay, you want to tie it there, but you're still like, it was like 45 seconds left. You get the quick 2. They're already shocked that you brought down to 3. You're only down 1 at that point. Now it's pressure on them. Like, man, we got to get this bucket here. You know, all kinds of things could go wrong there. They missed that shot. They know that they're cooked. You know, you don't need a 3 right there.
And I'll say, I wouldn't call that hero ball. Hero ball describes your boy Austin Reeves. Okay, LeBron took a bad shot in a moment, but Austin Reeves, he has some talent. You know, obviously he can score. He's a decent shooter, but he thinks he's God's gift to basketball, and you know he makes a lot of bad decisions on the court, like the 3 that Jokic hit before halftime, all up in Anthony Davis' face. Should have never even had the opportunity to shoot that ball. Lakers got possession with 11 seconds left. They should have ran that clock out and taken the last shot. But Austin Reeves said, no, I'm going to dump it down to Anthony Davis immediately and have him get fouled and go to the free throw line and give them time to get that shot off. Right. Yeah. And your boy Austin, he missed a 3 too, Jay. All right. I'm putting it all on LeBron.
All right.
Devon LeBron better not shoot any more 3s, though. Goddamn.
I know. Devon says, so do y'all think AD gets 40 at any time during the rest of the series? Maybe not 40, but he'll get in the 30s. Listen, Jokic is not good at defense. he can eat Joker alive. Like
they don't have anyone who can stop Anthony Davis or LeBron. Those two guys can stop themselves. One, by just not being active enough, and two, by shooting threes when you can't shoot threes anymore.
And Joker is in a tough position too because he's the focal point. He is the offense. He gets the points. He gets the assists. He gets the rebounds. Right, like he does it all there. And even after the first quarter, you could tell he was tired.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he had 10 rebounds in the first quarter. That's a lot. So he's not going to have anything on the defensive side. So yeah, AD can get around 40 points. I bet you he gets over 30 next game.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where the Lakers could and should have an advantage if Mo Bamba comes back. They are just a bigger, stronger team than Denver. Denver doesn't have anybody else who can even attempt to match up with AD. Like I said, they can throw Hachimura on him. They can throw Mo Bamba on Jokic, and maybe even for short stretches, Jared Vanderbilt. And they can keep Anthony Davis, fresher on the offensive end by doing that, and even make him more effective defensively because he played great defense on Jokic, but Jokic is just going to make the shots.
Yeah,
that's all there is to it.
Yeah, you can't do nothing about that.
But that's not a luxury that the Nuggets have. They don't have the size and the strength to match up with LA. You can't have Aaron Gordon on LeBron when he's in the post. You can't throw Michael Porter on LeBron. You can't throw Caldwell Pope on LeBron. Like they just don't have the guys to do it.
Yeah.
So those guys need to stay within themselves. Particularly LeBron with not shooting those threes. I mean, he's shooting like 26%. I mean, it's awful. Yeah. Just stop it.
All right. So let's go over to the other series, Celtics versus Heat. Look, who do you got in that? The Heat made it a lot further than I thought they'd make it. Even though they got a boost from Giannis being injured, but they still they did it. Who was the last series they played against? Was it New York? Yeah. I would have picked them to beat New York anyway. But look, they're in the conference finals. The Celtics, when they looked like they were finished, the Sixers did what the Sixers do best and said, "Hey man, we got our trips planned already to Cancun. Y'all got this." All right. They gave the series back to the Celtics. So who do you got? Raven C has his Celtics going. Mikey, who do you got in this series?
I'm going with Jimmy and the boys, man. I think Jimmy. I said, if Jimmy and them get past the Knicks, they'll no. Hold up, who they played last?
The Knicks.
Yeah, the Knicks. They got past that series. They will make the Eastern Conference Finals. So I think Jimmy and the boys are going to be tough. Jimmy, is known for giving the Celtics the business. He's had some really big games against the Celtics. So I think Jimmy will play well this series. And if they get a chance, right? If they get the Celtics in a closeout game like Philly had the chance, they're not gonna miss it. They're not gonna miss that time, that chance to close them out. So I think Jimmy and the boys get it done.
I agree. I got the Heat, man. I think the Heat are gonna take it. The Celtics, we be talking about it. Obviously, they're still an excellent team, but they lost a little edge from last year. Okay, we understand coaches' roles have diminished a little bit in the NBA, but they still matter. And I think Ime Udoka brought an attitude to that team that, not saying it's not there, but it's lost a little bit. And Miami's got that edge, man. And yeah, Jimmy's playing out his mind right now. We're not gonna get to the whole superstar thing. We know I don't think he's a superstar. I can understand why you make the argument though, especially if he wins this series. B, who do you got?
Obviously Boston. Look, Miami they don't have the talent. They just don't. They got past Milwaukee because of Giannis's injury, and that's fine. That happens.
Yeah.
That's how Milwaukee got a title. It's whatever. They beat the Knicks because the Knicks are the Knicks. No offense, Saul, but they're not a team that's ready for Showtime. One of their best players, arguably their best player, maybe second best player behind Brunson, is terribly afraid of playing in the playoffs. And you see it right there. Zaul knows it. Like Randall doesn't want any of it.
Zao said, Zao Knicks fan said, anybody want Julius Randle? Dallas, Hornets, San Antonio, Pacers, Wizards, Clippers? Anybody?
They should have gone through and done the deal for Donovan Mitchell. They would have been better off in the long term. But it's neither here nor there now. But you got past the Knicks. Cool. Now you're playing a team with superstar kind of talent at the top and a lot of depth, and you don't have it. Tyler Herro's out. Bam Adebayo's not the player that people thought he was going to evolve into. They gave Duncan Robinson $90 million to sit next to Udonis Haslem and cheer the team on. Wow. He's white Udonis. And what Gabe Vincent? Listen, I don't want to offend you, Zaul. I really don't. But is Gabe Vincent anything other than off-brand John Starks? And John Starks was already not the premium label, right? Like, come on. Like Gabe Vincent just going out there jacking up threes, whether they're dropping or not. It's not a great look. I think that Boston is just too good, too talented for them.
Well said. Zaul agrees. Zaul says Celtics have better shooting and can defend. Hey. Listen, all good points. I'm picking Miami. I don't know how they made it this far, but they made it, so I'm not going to doubt them anymore.
Yeah. Miami wins if Jason Tatum doesn't show up, and Jimmy Butler does.
Yeah. I like Jason Tatum, man, and I always have to defend Jason Tatum from the Celtics fan at work. Like he is, Boston fans are. You want to talk about the worst fans? They are the most spoiled, rotten fans.
But you know what? That's why their teams are consistently good.
Yeah.
Because
I hate them.
Ravens fans sit around, you're right. James Prochet, that's it. That's the man right there. And then you wonder why you win one playoff game in the last decade.
I was asking my friend, I was like, hey, we're talking about, all-time great tight ends, and I brought up Gronk. He was like, That's what he said. He's like, I was like, He's the greatest tight end ever. He's like, nah, he ain't played enough games. Like, yes,
I think Boston gets out coached too.
I think so.
I think they get out coached, and I think that's what's going to keep. That's what's going to keep the Heat in this series.
Yeah, I think they have a clear coaching advantage, but I think that the talent gap is just going to be too much for them.
Yeah. Darth Payne, are you a Boston fan? You like the Patriots and the Celtics and all that? He said we expect chips. You definitely do, and you get them. Hey, the guy respect it. I don't have to like it, but I damn sure got respect it. Jeremy, what's up, Jeremy? Jeremy says Jimmy Buckets need a second-hand man. He's the only real superstar on the Heat. Yeah. Chris White says Heat in the lead, though. They're playing right now?
Boston's winning right now on my screen. Maybe I'm a little bit behind, but it's 25-24. Like it's
early
game.
Yeah. Okay. I see Attitude Poppy says, I don't care. Lakers in 6 found something last night. They're going to expose Denver. Okay. Danity says Golden State Warriors about to lose every player while the Spurs are only gaining momentum. Y'all still have to catch up. Oh, she is pumped. Man, she's been tweeting since last night. Okay, we'll talk a little bit about that in bonus time. We'll give you a quick bonus time. All right, and then we have a lot to talk about in overtime. We have a lot to talk about tonight. So we're gonna do a quick bonus time, and then we'll go over to the overtime show, and we'll tell you more about that in a second. What did you want to say something, B?
No.
Okay, I didn't want to cut you off.
No.
First, we got to get a word from our sponsors. Ourselves. Yes. Listen. You like the gear? You like what we're wearing right here? You like what B's wearing? You like what Mikey's wearing? Not yet with the hat. Not yet. Okay, Mikey's working on that. That might be a Patreon exclusive for him.
Hey, you got the black one, Mike? Show him the black one.
Oh, look at that. That is dope. That is dope. Listen. Mikey has a Patreon. Let's start with Mikey. Okay, Patreon.com /OTR Mike. All right. The hat's not available yet. That's we're working on that.
That's got to be $50 tier. I'm sorry.
That's got to be those hats aren't cheap.
Eric, how are you calling me mid-show? Let me show y'all this. Eric is in the chat and he's calling me.
He's like Ferris. He got something to say.
Yeah. All right, but if you like what we're wearing, go over to our store, LBHTShow.com/shop. Okay, let me take this down. Okay, that's where you can find the merch. You see that lovely couple right there wearing our Ring Kings apparel. Okay, and if you don't know what Ring Kings is, that is the show that the three of us on the screen right now do. It's a boxing podcast, Ring Kings podcast. All right, go over there, subscribe, follow, listen wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, but go to the store, LBHTShow.com/shop. Summer is almost here. You need some appropriate attire. We got shirts. I think we still got some tank tops up there. We got shorts. We got all the good stuff. All right. And we're going to update the site soon, add some more designs. All right. So check it out. Also, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/LBHTShow. Okay. We have 4 tiers. We have 4 tiers. All right. B's going to tell you about those tiers real quick.
Yeah, so we have the $5 tier, which is a general support tier, but also gets you into our LBHT Pick'em League during the NFL season, where we give away the custom trophy that you see in Mike's background right there. That one's broken. That's not the trophy anymore. We switched it over to a plaque last year. We'll see what we have for this upcoming season. So we're always changing those things around. Didn't need the picture. I already pointed it out in the
they get a close up look.
That's all right. But that's okay.
That's those are the former trophies. All right. Yes. The current trophy, if I can find it, there it is.
Yeah, it's blinding. You can never you can't look directly at it. Yeah. We also have the $10 tier, which gets you the LBHT crew coin that Jose has right there.
I do.
While supplies last.
Yeah.
We also have, it also gets you into our fantasy football league. We have a dynasty league where we give away a custom championship belt. Last year's looked a little like this. We are going to be upgrading the belt this season and adding a new logo on the side plate. You know, anybody who wins gets their logo onto the belt for the first few years, just to give it a little sense of history there. We also have a redraft league that's going on. And if there's enough interest, we'll start up another dynasty league as well. And then we have the $20 tier, which is a combined tier for this show and Ring Kings podcast. So you get everything that I mentioned, as well as our custom poker set featuring our top 25 fighters of all time. We did the 5-part series on that. It was a lot of fun. Definitely go check that out and subscribe to Ring Kings. We're trying to get to 500 subs. And we also have the $60 creator tier, which is for anyone who is starting out on YouTube or thinking about starting a channel on YouTube. We give a strategy session with ourselves, OTR Mike, Hendo from the Rogue Pod, and we just kind of go over, a lot of the common pitfalls for YouTubers that we went through and try to help you avoid those. And we give some content strategy, community building, anything that you really want to focus on. We also have a Discord channel featuring collaborators that we've worked with, editors, graphic designers, things like that, so you don't end up on Fiverr spending your money on things that you will definitely not use. And we also, and one of our collaborators is Video AI. Is that correct, Jose?
Yeah. Because some people asked us about that. We did a little demo last week on it. I'll show it to you guys again real quick. But listen, you guys that are starting out and you're looking to repurpose your content like we do here, right? We do this live stream. It's going over an hour and a half. We're going to cut up some of these videos. We're going to put them out shorter videos. We're going to put out shorts, put them on different social media, TikTok or whatnot. This helps you save time. Okay, it's a very smart AI. It will go and grab your long form video and look at the parts that are the best parts to clip out, and they'll clip it out and they'll put it in different formats and whatnot. This is a video of it. You just go in there, you click, you can even add the link to the video. If you don't want to upload it, you just want to go straight to your YouTube video, you can add the link, or you can upload the file directly, and you give it a few minutes. It'll send you a notification, let you know that the video has been generated. Right, and those are all the videos that is uploaded for me so far. You can see I'm at work there, and those are all the videos. Look, 17 shorts it created, and 10 when it says chapters, those are just longer form videos. So 27 videos in all. That is from our Ring Kings stream that we did 2 weeks ago. So 27 videos it produced just like that. All right. So if you're a content creator that's serious about growing your channel, that gives you a lot of content. Okay, it will increase your production a whole lot. That's Video AI, VIDYO.ai is where you can get that. All right, we got other collaborators that we work with as well, but you got to pay for that information. All right. All right, bonus time. Let's hit it up. Okay, real quick, we're going to spend a few minutes discussing whatever you want to talk about. You want to go back to Ravens and discuss Ravens. You want to talk some more NBA, we can talk that. Danny wants to talk about Danny wants to talk about her Spurs, how they have returned. But once we're done, we are going to go over to the overtime show. And what are we discussing on the overtime show? Oh, I didn't even upload it. But we're going to be discussing coaches getting fired, man. Coaches have been getting fired.
Rightfully so.
Oh, man. Let me see. Do I have it up here? Okay, look. Fired, suspended. Okay. Yes. Look. Yes, they're all coaches there. 2 have been fired. 1 have been suspended. Which ones? Tune in to find out. Okay. All right. What's Danny saying in the chat here?
He says, you can't fix destiny. If it wasn't for the Spurs leading by example and showing Golden State how to be a real team, you'll still be collecting mice droppings from the empty seats like you used to.
Wow.
Goodness, Hendo.
Wow.
Are you gonna be okay in time for the overtime, Hendo? Like, damn, man. But congratulations to the Spurs on winning the draft lottery and getting Victor Wembanyama. Always been a fan of the Spurs organization. If you don't know, Jose and our mother is from St. Croix. That's where Tim Duncan is from. And, so we've always kind of rooted for him.
Yeah. Yes.
It's a little suspicious, though. I'm just gonna. I don't think it was rigged, but I mean, damn. Every time.
Look, man. Look. Yeah. Like I said at the beginning of the show, right? That's not really the team that you would pick to rig somebody to go to, but it is very beneficial for the NBA that this happened because one, you get somebody who is on that trajectory to be a great player, right? There's a lot of hype around him, and when there's a hype around this player, you want them to succeed. It's great for the league. It's great for business, right? Great for sponsors. So him going to a stable organization that can cultivate him and develop him the right way. And San Antonio is a quiet city, man. I lived in San Antonio for about 2 years. People are great. There's just enough to do, but not too much. Very, very quiet community, very calm community, right? Great land spot for him. And also it sends the message that tanking doesn't work. Right? If you're the Hornets, if you're who else was at the bottom, if you're one of those teams that just like, I have to get it this time. The Hornets have been getting, man, they've been getting played for decades. Okay. Every year.
Well, they said this is the third time that they have finished second in the lottery, right? And do you know who was drafted first in those classes? It is tragic. All right, one of them was none other than Anthony Davis.
Yes.
One of them was Superman Dwight Howard, and the first time it was Shaquille O'Neal. I don't know how you miss all 3 times.
They miss
That's
all the big men. They don't get any of the big men. If there's a big man that's favored to be in the draft, don't even worry about it.
And
Go
now
win some
Victor
games.
Wembanyama.
Now
It's
Victor
awful.
Wembanyama. Mikey, what say you? Is this rigged?
Hell yeah, it's rigged. Listen, we know how Pop feels about foreign-born players. He's made his money on foreign-born players, and it's awful ironic, right? That this just happens. I think the shit's rigged. I so much so, right, that I felt comfortable putting money on the Spurs winning the pick because it was just destiny. It was just right. It just fit, right? I think it's the Spurs' turn. They've been down. Pop is good for the league, and I think Pop was like, "Look, man, hey, bro,
Give me one.
I need one, or I'm out." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they like, say less, bruh. We got you. Okay. Y'all just take it easy this year. We got you. We got you. So but nah, man, it's the perfect fit for him. I think Pop will take care of him. It's just like you said, Zay, it's a small enough city, a small enough market where he won't get swallowed up in all the hype and the hoopla of these bigger cities and places like that. But it's a perfect fit. But it just makes this is like the 90th time that it just made so much sense for somebody to go to where they landed.
I will say this though. I know that they did not have the best odds for the pick, but you can't tell me they didn't tank. Unless you're a hardcore fan of the NBA, I bet you can't tell me one player who played for the San Antonio Spurs this year. I bet most fans would not be able to.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Like their best player arguably is Keldon Johnson. Who is that? Who knows who that is?
I have no idea.
No disrespect to Keldon. He's a fine player.
Right.
But nobody knows who any of them dudes are.
Right.
They tanked real hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't call it that when we respect the coach and the organization.
Yeah. and it's the league is better when San Antonio is competitive, right?
But you know what though? I didn't mean to cut you off, Mikey. But tanking for a team like that is different because they weren't necessarily tanking for Victor. They're tanking for a top pick because a team like that can make any of those top guys stars.
I don't know. They did it for Tim. Like they only seem to tank when there's that guy in the draft.
No, but look, they
had David Robinson already.
Listen, they also got Kawhi. At what pick was he? 15th or something like that?
Yeah.
People forget Kawhi Leonard started out there. They can spot talent, and of course you're trying to get the top guy, of course. But I'm saying I'm willing to bet that they looked at this class and said, if we can get top 7, we'll be good. I bet you there's some other players in that draft that they're looking at and saying, yeah, we can make something with that guy.
Not no more.
Not no more. And I know Nitro thinks that they're not going after him. Nitro, you're tripping. That's exactly who they're going after. Right? They might have been looking at somebody else, but now they got the number 1 pick. All right.
Yeah.
You might have been looking at PS4, but you got some extra overtime money, and that check was bigger than you thought, and you're like, PS5, here we come.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Nitro don't think they're going after who? Victor?
Yeah, he thinks they're going to draft somebody else.
He said they're not taking Wembanyama, and we say, you crazy.
They listen.
Again,
the way they talking about this kid, he's they're saying he's the greatest prospect even ever
in team
sports. LeBron James in team sports.
They said not even just basketball. They had Brian Windhorst in France,
right,
standing next to him to interview him
in the morning
about playing for the Spurs.
Yeah,
they're not even pretending that anybody else could go number 1.
Yeah,
right.
He's going.
Yeah, the Spurs are already printing up his Wembanyama jerseys right now.
Yeah,
that's a done deal.
It's no way.
And
to your point, Zay, like, I mean, I agree. I think they could make anybody, but I don't think so. Like they're saying the next best prospect is the kid Brandon Miller or whatever from Alabama.
Yeah.
I don't think he would fit there in San Antonio. He's just not a fit for that team. But he's a good player, right? But I just don't think personality wise, he just doesn't fit. I just think this is the perfect fit. He has a good relationship with Tony Parker. You know what I mean? Like it's
Not a
it
lot of
just
Spurs can say that anymore.
yeah.
And also Tim Duncan isn't he an assistant coach with the team?
I think he
Or
was.
didn't coach this year.
Stopped.
Yeah.
I think he
was. Yeah, I don't think he is now.
Yeah.
He'll be back.
Oh yeah, they'll get him in there, man. They're gonna pull out everybody to come work with this kid.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap this up because we are getting dangerously close to 2 hours. I was my goal for this show was to be 1 hour like Coach's show was on Monday. That was a goal, but there was a lot to talk about on the NBA side, and you guys have stuck with us. We appreciate it, man. There's still almost 50 people in here. Hit the like button on your way out, and hit the subscribe button if you're new. Any last words from you guys, gentlemen, before we go over to the overtime show?
Yeah, when LeBron retires, look out for me being a San Antonio fan. Okay.
Hey man, it's basketball's a fluid business, man. That's all I can say.
It is. That it is.
They already planning his exit to LA.
Yeah.
It's like 5 years. He'll be asking to get out of there and go to LA.
Jerry Miller says, I said this before, but I'll take the lottery over NFL teams tanking to get draft picks. You're almost there, Jeremy.
Tank too.
Yeah,
it doesn't stop tanking. Have you heard of the process?
Right.
That was what, 4 years of tanking?
Yeah. Oh, we didn't get our guy this time. Okay, we'll tank again. Oh, we didn't get him this time.
No,
all right, we'll tank again.
But it's funny, they did get their guys, and they just kept tanking. They're like, we need more of them.
Yeah.
I like my idea. I like the losers bracket, and during the playoff time, you put the bottom whatever teams left, and the winner that's how they select their draft order. The winner of that bracket gets number 1, runner up 2, and so on and so forth.
There are 2 ways to solve tanking. One is relegation, meaning you ain't getting your money next year because you ain't in the league no more. And 2 is no draft. Those are the ways you solve tanking. Because the tournament would be exciting for fans for sure. That'd be great to watch. But then you really are kind of dooming. I mean, not 100%, but you're telling the worst teams, nah, you're gonna pick 14th, and you better get lucky if you want to get better.
So yeah, we actually did one of our overtime shows on the draft and why we should do away with the draft. It was a good debate. I might clip that. I might clip that and put that out. That was on the overtime show. Another reason why you need to be part of it, be part of our Patreon, because we had some good conversations, and we're gonna have another good conversation come up here in a couple of minutes. But that's it. Yeah. What are you looking at, B?
No, I'm just looking at the chat.
No. Okay, I just want to make sure there's something you want to read. But all right, we're gonna wrap this up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you're listening on the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Be sure to give us a 5-star review and tell your friends. We are trying to grow. And also do us a quick favor. Okay, a quick favor. Go to LBHTShow.com. Go over there and sign up for our newsletter. Excuse me, I had to sneeze there. Sign up for the newsletter. Okay, as soon as you go over there, LBHTShow.com, you'll see a nice big green pop-up asking you to put your email in. The newsletter, we're working on it right now. Shout out to Will G for helping us design it. It's going to be dope. Lots of great information that's going to be there. We're not going to spam you. It's not going to be a daily thing. It'll be like once a week, maybe even bi-weekly. We'll see. But announcements for things coming up, announcements for other people's show, like the Rogue Pod, like Open Mic, OTR Mic, all that stuff will be in there because we throw a lot at you. You guys are great with your support. And, I know it can be a little confusing keeping up with everybody's schedule, All that will be in the newsletter, and we'll even have something on our page too to help guide you guys. Okay, because it is tough navigating these YouTube streets, man. I'll tell you.
Yes.
Okay.
Hendo here says cheater, referring to San Antonio and Danity's team. And I just wanted to point out that Warriors fans love throwing around accusations when things don't go their way. They are the infants of the NBA. It is embarrassing how sensitive that fan base is. Like, honestly, y'all flop more than anybody. You illegal scream more than anybody.
Cheater.
You out here crying about
Cheater.
The league is rigging the series for the Sacramento Kings against the 4-time champions with Steph Curry on their roster. Stop it. All right. Take your loss like a man and just be quiet, man. Like, honestly, it is embarrassing for that entire fan base.
I just want you to know, Ja Morant is about to miss half the season. This guy right here, okay, habitual line stepper. All right. He gets to play still. Okay. This is after he knocked out his own teammate, by the way. Okay. Just want to put that out there. But they have it in for the Warriors. Okay. All right. We're getting out of here. Patrons, give us a couple minutes. The overtime show will start soon. Everybody else, thank you so much. Still 50 people in here. Salute to you guys. Everybody, thank you so much. Have a great night. B, are you ready?
Ready.
He is ready. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you next time. Peace.